No, it's weird, man. I'm a senior, and I'm graduating, and with graduation coming up, I'm thinking, what am I gonna do with my life? Like, I have a job, and I know where I'm going to college, but what am I actually going to do? You know, it's a good job. I'm doing easy work for good pay, but I'm just thinking I always find myself not having enough cash for what I want to do. I thought it was because I'm buying a lot of frivolous shit. Yankee seats. I got a pair of Yankee Stadium seats. I'm sitting in them right now. So I started keeping a journal of everything I bought to see what I was exactly spending my money on. Turns out I was really spending my money on the ABCs: alcohol, bitches, and cocaine. Still didn't have enough money, and since I'm addicted to two of those, I had to stop doing cocaine. I went to my dealer's house to say I wasn't going to be coming by anymore. There was caution tape everywhere, and a policeman stopped me before I could get to the door. Turns out my guy got shot in the face, execution style. Blam blam. It was kind of freaky, because now I know a guy that died because he was selling cocaine. It's wild in the hood. Speaking of wild shit, last weekend was prom weekend. I did the most stereotypical douchebag shit. You know what I wore to prom? A purple tuxedo. Black shirt, black vest, black bow tie. All the women there were acting like that little black kid in that Sunny D commercial that Dave Chappelle talks about. I want that purple stuff. My girlfriend was pissed because she wore pink and she gave me a pink flower. I looked like Elton John. At the prom, all the DJ did was fade from song to song. My boy wasn't dancing, so he was tweeting about it all night. But the prom's not the fun part of prom. Fun part of prom is the weekend. Went up to the Poconos, had to drive through Pennsylvania. It was terrifying. When we got there, the house was already trashed. The fan blades were ripped off, there was condom wrappers everywhere. So we decided, fuck the security deposit, we're going ham. First night we had a blacklight party. Thank God it wasn't the second night, because all my clothes got covered with semen. We had a beer pong tournament. I got second place. I didn't think it was fair because the girl I played in the last round had her boobs sticking out of her shirt, and I got distracted. I could have distracted her, but that would have required me to take my pants off, which I was told not to do all weekend. Me and my girlfriend head back to our room. We got one of two single rooms. We paid our dues to get them. I think she might have sucked off the guy that signed for the house. But whatever. Get the room, lay in the bed, it's silent. I like. Turns out, the room next to us's bed wasn't silent. They start going ham, and we start hearing it. Can't have that shit, start a noise war. Lay her down on the corner of the bed, start railing her into it so the end of the bed hits the wall. They retaliate. Loud, sporadic knocking on the wall. Turns out they weren't having sex, my boy was actually beating his girlfriend. Stopped being funny after that. Wake up 9 a.m. the next day, throw on some pants, walk outside. Turns out some of my boys are already up in the kitchen. The blender's out, so what do? 9 a.m. RoboCup. You don't know what RoboCup is, all you need to know is it gets you robo fucked up. I lose, so I gotta chug. Now all my friends got pictures of me drinking beer out of a blender at 9 a.m. Turns out I swallowed some of the quarters at the bottom of the blender. 8 hours later, I was popping them out like the little change thing that the ice cream guy has. All right, your fudge bar was $2.75 and he gave me $3, so here's your change. Only food we had at the house was tacos and muffins. We had an infinite supply of muffins. One of my friends was outside taking hits off a bubbler. Took 2 hits, went face down on the table, threw up everywhere. Went to sleep for 6 hours. Shit got him fucked up. That night, had an ABC party. Turns out, none of the girls had prepared their outfits. You know what that means? Naked women. Since I was in the house, they refused to get naked, so they all wore their underwear. I didn't complain. My girlfriend got mad at me for checking out all the ladies. I got mad at her for not appreciating my shorts that were made out of Super Mario duct tape. Wake up the next morning, again, RoboCup. One of my friends ended up drinking 12 beers by 2 p.m. Know what he did for the rest of the day? Played Pokemon with himself in the backyard. That's not a masturbation joke. He was shouting out moves and jumping around on the ground. 7 o'clock the next morning, it's Monday now, senior skip day. Everybody starts cleaning the house. 15 minutes later, the guys are out on the deck making burgers, and the women are cleaning the house. It was the most sexist moment of my life, and I loved it. Turns out we can't leave the trash there. We gotta get it in these dumpsters. So me and two guys pile into my mom's Pilot with all the trash, and we head out to find them. The guy who runs them is an old fat racist guy. Turns out one of the guys that was with us was Portuguese, but he looks Mexican. Got all the trash out of the car. Turns out there's doo-doo all over the floor. Fuck that shit. Ain't my car. Everybody piles in. We go home. Come home. Still gotta write my senior paper. Pop some Adderall. Bust that shit out in 35 minutes. That's swag. On Tuesday, all the teachers were absent because they didn't want to hear about our rambunctious shit that we did over the weekend. It was the swaggiest weekend of my life.